Hey, yo, what's up? It's Silo, and today, guys, I'm back with another banger. But in today's video, it's gonna be a little different, a little more educational than previous videos on my channel because this is something I want to discuss for about 3 years since the very drug I love, marijuana, pot, reefer, has changed in ways I've never thought. So in this video, I'm going to be going into detail and explain why weed, especially modern weed, has changed so much and has made us all anxious and paranoid compared to weed pre 2020. It might even be before 2020 for some of you guys, but this is when it kind of changed for me. Which the weed back then was more chill and euphoric compared to the high THC and the concentrates we have now. So today I'm going to use modern studies and cross-reference it with my own personal experiences in the last 3 years to truly get to the bottom of why weed has changed for me and many others who report the same. So in this video, I'm going to go over these exact symptoms: anxiety slash paranoia, how weed changes as we age, the change of weed after doing psychedelics, THC percentages, and the difference between homegrown and lab genetics. So for a start, I'm going to preface that weed and drugs in general are different for each person, and this is my own experiences. I'm going to go ask some of my friends about their experiences and note them down for this video. Depending on the person, my own problems and others can be 10 times worse or way better for you. Fortunately for some, we have stayed the exact same. No one has had any of these problems. I've seen more people, not have these problems, but for the little niche people that do, this video is for you. And it's become a coin toss if you're gonna either panic or chill. Another point is dosage. Most of the issues I'm going to talk about today are null if you don't get as high as can be. I've realized that I can avoid most of, if not all of this, if I just take a smaller bowl hit or smoke less in general. So let's begin with the biggest issue that's plagued most modern smokers, and that is anxiety. Going back to dosage, this is a huge contributor for anxiety, but with most cases like me, I've smoked about the same throughout the last few years, but when I was younger, I smoked way much more, and I wanted to be as high as can be, dude. You could give me like 8 joints, I'd smoke them in like 5 minutes, man. Like literally, it's so much different than now, where I have some weed, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. Which I wish that would transfer to alcohol, but unfortunately, it doesn't. But now I can't smoke as much because my mind overthinks and my heart is racing. I've gotten better at it throughout the years. In 2023, I would have a panic attack 80% of the time I got stoned. It happened so much that even now, 2026, I don't feel like I'm high if I don't have a panic attack or near panic attack systems. But so before I get into more personal experiences, let's look at the chemical and medical reason this could happen. I'm going to list these reasons, and after I'm done, I'm going to go more in depth with my own experiences so you can get a hands-on approach on all the medical terms, so it's more personal and in a way the viewer can understand and relate. So this is for all the stoners that are too stupid enough to fucking go do your own research, or you don't really give a fuck. You just fucking push through it. So let's do this. THC increases the amygdala's activity in the brain, and this can contribute to paranoia, alertness to body sensations, and racing thoughts. This all funnels into one and becomes a domino effect on the high. Your mind is racing, your heart's racing, so therefore you're more prone to panic because you're in a state of mind or fight or flight. And it's just like, so say if you're at school, this guy's gonna beat your ass. Are you to fight him or flight? So in this situation, you can't fight it. If you fight it, it makes it worse, and you can't run from the high. So you're stuck in this fucking endless loop of you need to wait until it calms down a little bit. And this is catastrophic for people that are fearful of health conditions. You can fully convince yourself that you're having a heart attack due to how sudden and how random it is. Anxiety also causes chest pain in some cases. This can scare anyone, really. If you're having chest pain, like, you're gonna be like, what the fuck? Especially if you aren't used to this feeling like this while high. So if you're just getting high, it just hits you on nowhere. My chest is hurting. You're gonna be fucking tweaked the fuck out. And obviously, as you get higher, these sensations become more prominent and can lead to anxiety. But looping back to dosage, this all heavily depends on it. If it wasn't obvious, the higher you are, the more the symptoms are exaggerated. This can be made worse if you have panic attacks without weed and or other mental issues. We can bring upon psychosis as well, but that is less common unless you get stoned, as can be throughout the day, daily for years. Like Blazing fucking Agent. If you guys seen him, fucking crazy psychosis, dude's going fucking crazy. But obviously, that's rarely ever happens. That's probably not gonna happen to you unless you have prior mental health problems. And next is your endocannabinoid system, which regulates stress, could change over time. So was once a chill smoke session could force your brain to a stressful situation, something that is chemically reliant and out of your hands. Next, we have how weed changes with age and environmental factors. For smokers who started in their teens, we can remember the moments we had that were pure bliss, nothing like you've ever experienced to that moment. And let's say you've been using weed from ages 15 to 19. As you get older and keep the same smoking habits, your CBD1 receptors over time can change, which in turn make the chance of a panic attack or bad high increase tenfold. Reversely, this in some people can have the opposite effect, and as you age, weed gets you less anxious. But it seems more rare in these cases than it usually is the former for many. Tolerance plays a big part in here as well. For some people with high tolerance, you obviously have to smoke more to gain the same effects as once was. But you may think it's fine since mentally you're fine, but your body knows you're intaking way more THC than you usually are. Experiencing trauma in some kind in any part of your life can resurface while stoned, and nobody wants that. We want to get high to chill. Like we don't want to, ponder on what fucking happened when we were kids or what happened last week with my ex or what the fuck is going on. The panic you have that moment, the high can feel like how it was when you're experiencing that moment. Therefore, bringing it back in full swing, even if you know mentally, like 100% that you are safe, it will get to you, because no matter what you do, you, your mind is gonna fucking race. Unless you have coping mechanisms for this, you're fucked. You just gotta ride it out and get the fucking hand you were dealt, man. There's nothing you can really do about it. Like I said previously, unless you have coping mechanisms, but most of us don't. We just smoke, and this is something that we've never experienced, and this is all new. So we don't really know how to fucking venture these trying times. Another huge factor is your environment and current mental state. People with a stressful or unpredictable life will be hit with the same domino effect in the overworking amygdala, causing you to get paranoid about your current situation in life. Example, scared that your job is at stake or losing a family member. It's going to be exaggerated and will do the opposite effect of what you want, which is to be relaxed and euphoric. Weed is a minor psychedelic, not in the same vein as shrooms or LSD, but has very similar effects on the brain. And since weed isn't seen as serious as those drugs, many don't take into account settings which can contribute to negative effects. And next, this was a big one for me. This was like after I did this, weed really did change for me. And we have how after doing psychedelics, weed changes. And to snowball off the last point, both substances interact with the brain's serotonin and neurotransmitter systems, and psychedelics can leave the brain more sensitive to sensory changes and cognitive shifts. In turn, when smoking weed, you feel like tripping again. Taking shrooms or LSD, especially in higher doses, can change your future highs for a long time after the fact. Personally, for me, it took about a year and a half for my highs to return to how it was before, doing a good dose of shrooms. It definitely was a negative for me. When I smoke weed, I don't want to have a shroom high at all. I want to be high off fucking weed. I want to feel like fucking weed. Last but not least, we have homegrown versus lab grown. So with this, it's pretty self-explanatory. Weed grown at home isn't made to be as high in THC as possible as lab grown, but with each and every year having less and less CBD to the point where at a dispensary, the average CBD for bud is around 0.5% or way less. Some strains don't even have fucking CBD in them at all. It's completely just THC. It really does vary, give or take, but really it depends on the strain of weed. Some dispensaries have, well, actually, no, not some. All of them should have 1-to-1 ratio of flowered options, but they aren't as popular as you think. CBD helps ease anxiety and give the more high and more grounded feeling, which is why the weed you used to get from a plug had no negatives, because the homegrowers didn't specifically phase out CBD like most labs and big corporate weed companies do today. Even then, it really boils down to mentality for each person. Even if you have a high CBD and you get stoned, if you associate getting high with panic attacks, more often than not, you will receive a panic attack. It's all mentally, and something that will never change, or it may get better over time, or it may not. But thankfully, in my case, it got better over time. Yeah, so these aren't fully in depth as they could be in this video. This video would be hours long, but it's a quick comprehension of the weed of today and how it isn't as healthy and harmless as other things. I see a lot of fucking idiots. Oh, it helps with my fucking sleep, bro. Dude, it cures cancer, bro. If it's fucking shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Weed does have a lot of its downsides: lung problems, brain fog, anxiety. Obviously, this whole video is centered around that. Weed is not perfect. It people forget that it's a fucking drug, and it's become so like normalized, not in the same vein as alcohol, but it's become such a big fucking thing now. People just fucking throw that shit out the window and be like, yeah, dude, fucking, yeah, dude, smoke this, bro. You'll get over your mom's fucking death, dude. Smoke this. Take a toke of this. That's not gonna fucking help you, bro. Yeah, and again, I'm just a stoner who's reporting on this. I'm not a doctor or psychiatrist, but I did my best with my research. And if I got anything wrong, put it in the comments below and I'll pin it. Um, One thing that I did have a not a problem with, but it was kind of hard, was the weed and psychedelics. It doesn't seem that's very reported on from what I've seen. I didn't really click on all the fucking Vice fucking articles. Fuck those guys. Um, But if you guys have anything that was wrong, if I said anything that was wrong or inaccurate, just drop it in the comment section below and I'll pin it. So now that I got that out the way, I'm going to explain my own personal experiences with how weed changed for me. And the crazy part is that this day, it was May of 2023. I remember this day so vividly. It was honestly fucking crazy. I still remember it to this day. It was like it was yesterday. The previous month, I lost my grandmother, and things were looking very bleak, as that was the first time I've ever saw like anyone die and seen death so up close. And what made it worse was that it was my own blood. It was someone I loved. It didn't fully hit me until about a month later, after coming to terms with it and letting it settle in my mind and really thinking about it. One night, I went to my friend's house to drink, and I drank a lot. I really did drink a lot. Even my own friend said that he was worried about me and how many shots I was taking, and that's only happened once. My friends have only said that once to me. It was like, yeah, you're drinking like a lot. Like it's worrying. Not like, oh yeah, you're drinking a lot and you're being fucking retarded, but it's like you're drinking a lot, you might fucking die. And I personally don't remember, but knowing me, had to believe this at least 10 shots within 2 hours. Anyway, the next day I was very hungover and low on electrolytes, hungry and thirsty. So I took an Uber home. I think it was 10 or 11. I slept at my friend's house. I took an Uber home, and I decided to get high as I usually do when I'm hungover. But this is the moment where everything changed. This is the moment. Everything weed changed for me personally for the rest of my life. I don't think I'll ever see weed the same, and I won't forget it. It's ingrained in my brain. I hit my cart, and the cart I hit, it was one of those fucking fake cake carts. This is before I got my fucking medical card, and I went to the restaurant next to my crib to order Italian beef. Fucking like one of the best hangover foods ever. Italian beef, extra mozzarella, some fucking hot peppers on there, sport peppers, crazy shit. You'll be up and at them in like 5 minutes, bro. You're good. Low re up, you know what I'm saying? So I sat down and it hit me extremely fucking hard, dude. It was like it was like a Google Slides, bro. Like I pressed the right key, whole different fucking page, dude. My heart started racing, my hands were shaking, and I can only describe the way my vision went. It was like when you turn up your FOV slider in a game to 120 FPS. I had like tunnel vision or some shit. It was fucking weird. Thankfully, my food was ready, and I grabbed it, and I fucking like sped walked home. Thankfully, my house is like right next to this fucking. It's literally like not. It's like not even a block, dude. It's right next to it. So I didn't even eat, despite being so hungry. Like it hurt. I was so hungry, like I was dying for food, but I didn't even eat it. I literally just fucking dropped it off at my crib, and I went for a walk. All I could think about was how I was dying, and one day I was gonna die. It was just like it hit me. It was like I was literally about to die. Like everything in my life, like led to that moment. It really did feel like death was at my door. And I do occasionally have these thoughts, but never stoned. And it hit like a truck. Dread. My stomach was in a knot. I was sweating. It truly felt like I was about to die. I've had panic attacks before in my life, but never from weed. It was completely while sober, and most of my panic attacks happened when I was a kid, when I was 13. I think I had my first one when I was 13. I was actually at my grandma's house, and I watched one of these like weird fucking like videos, like you will die after you watch this. But usually those never got to me. But for some reason, it fucking did that night. So after about 30 minutes, it subsided, and I felt a lot better. Safe to say, I didn't smoke the rest of the day, and I let my hangover clear up before getting high again. Unfortunately, the next day I got the same fucking effect, and it happened once again, but without the hangover feeling. So it wasn't as bad, but it was fucking bad. The next week, I made a terrible choice of buying 35% THC weed for a convention I was attending. I was going to Anime Central with my friends, and I always buy a bunch of weed for us. And it was fucking awful, dude. I barely even smoked it. I got a zip just to smoke about 2 grams of it. And even my friends didn't even fucking smoke it because that shit was too fucking. That shit was fucking crazy. Literally, it was shit, dude. It was called LSD too. It was by Savvy. And I think if I did smoke it today, it'd been a lot better. But dude, that weed was fucked. It was fucked, dude. It was like fucking. It was like doing meth or some shit, man. It was fucked. And I thought maybe it was just a bad week. I was like, yeah, it's just a bad week. Maybe this is just a rut. Maybe I'm going through it. So the next week, this was a week after this. I did smoke the weed, and I did, but it was in very low, very tiny amounts. It was like smoking again for the first time. It was like, I'm gonna smoke this, dude. My fucking mom's gonna catch me. I gotta smoke a little bit of weed. But anyway, I went to my friend's little brother's soccer game, and before they scoot me, I decided to take huge, fat fucking bowls, dude, of this weed. It was probably the worst idea I could have ever made. Imagine the panic attack I had the first time, but yeah, times that by 10 in this. I could not. even go for a walk because I was bound to my friend's car. And the place was like 40 minutes away. But unlike the last time, instead of dying, I thought about aging. I can still like I even remember the thought process because I'm legally not able to own a gun, and I was thinking, fucking um yeah, I gotta wait. Well, I was 20. I'm like, oh, I'm 20 now, and then we'll be 21, and then we'll be 22, and then 23, and then so on and so forth. And I fucking, dude, that set me the fuck off. Like, it was like literally like a gun in my head went off, boom. I could not stop the thoughts. And this time I was lightheaded. I almost passed out in the convenience store we stopped at because I was like, bro, can y'all stop? I need to grab some water. And we stopped at the Circle K, I think it was. And it was hard to even stand or talk. Like, I literally could not talk. Like, I was, it was honestly really hard to talk, and my hands were like locking up to the point where I couldn't even move my fingers. It was so fucking bad. It was probably the worst experience of my life. Thankfully, I haven't had a panic attack like that ever again. That probably the last time that's happened like that. I've had some here and there in the last few years, but nothing like that. But like last time, I let time pass and it eased up. Um, It was fine. I actually threw away that weed, dude. I think I threw away at least 7 grams of weed. I've never thrown weed out ever in my life, and I paid like 140 for that fucking weed, dude. That shit was expensive. I just threw it out because I was like, I'm not doing this, and I'm not doing this no more. And for a long time, I thought it was the strain because it was an indica. So I'm like, I'm not gonna smoke indicas anymore. I'm just only gonna smoke sativas. But apparently, it's the fucking opposite. You usually get panic attacks on sativas, not indicas. But I didn't smoke indicas for a while after that, for about like a year, but this went on for about a year and a half. I didn't smoke less. I just tried to brute force myself into not tweaking, and I can say it fucking worked. It really actually did fucking work. I did have panic attacks throughout that year and a half, but it became less and less, and now it rarely ever happens. It only happens if I smoke a lot. If I put like some keef on that shit and blaze a fat fucking bowl. But I've learned to smoke less, and it's worked out. I've learned some skills, and when I really do get stoned like that, I just go for a walk with my AirPods. And since I learned that, it pretty much solved itself. But one of the problems was I kind of started having panic attacks when I didn't go for walks because my brain started associating going for a walk as an anti-anxiety method. So I'd get panic attacks when I didn't go for a walk while getting super stoned. So when I do smoke a lot, I usually do go for a walk, and it's very relaxing, especially at night. Um, I usually do get that. Like if I want to go for a walk, I get that high, but it's like anxiety's gone at that point. I just chill. Even when I do smoke a lot, sometimes I do stay in the house, but I always feel that like need to move. Like I need to fucking get up and move around. It even happened last like about a few weeks ago. I went out with my friends, and um my friend gave me this fat bowl of weed, and he was like, "Oh, just smoke the top of it." And he threw some keef on that shit, and I got so fucking high. I was like, "Dude, I gotta go like take a walk." And thankfully, I did bring my AirPods with me, so I did take a walk, and it felt a lot better. I don't know. It's just when I feel like I can't move and I'm stuck. Like I get like claustrophobic, even though I'm not in a small fucking room. I'm just like I gotta move around. But when I do go for my walks, at my house, obviously, I go from around 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. Anytime it's dark, really. I just go for a walk around my block, about 30 minutes. It's really fun. I do enjoy it, especially at night. Having my music on, it's like, damn, I'm going through it right now. But my anxiety around 2024 did get as bad as it was during those times because after doing shrooms, I started to think I was still tripping and it's been a dream. And that really set me off. I had to assure myself that this is not a trip because it's absolutely bullshit. And it helped. I did think for a long time that I was fucking tripping. Like, it was weird. Like, oh, dude, I mean, maybe I took so much shrooms that day. I'm fucking, I created my own reality. That doesn't fucking happen. That's like DMT and shit. that shit, that shit was dumb, dude. I really do be like overthinking a lot when I'm high like that, and it never this never happened to me when I was a kid. I'd smoke and I'd be like, dude, fucking Dark Souls, dude, let's browse and hentai, look at hentai, bro. Like I don't know, like changing as an adult just fucked me, bro. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Now it's 2026 and everything has kind of returned to how it was when I first started smoking when I was 16 through 19, but now with the mind of an adult. I still don't smoke as much as I did because now I do have the mind of an adult. My thoughts are a lot deeper and intricate, and I honestly don't really like thinking about my problems the way that I am and how I am and what I'll do and all that shit while high. Because honestly, my life, shit I do is fucking crazy, and I don't like thinking about myself when I'm high. Not like I fucking hate myself. It's just like damn. I could be different, but it's like I don't give a fuck. But I hope this video helped explain some things, and maybe others can take some advice that I stated here, like listen to music, go on a walk, distracting yourself with other things that will ground you. That's really all you really need in the end, is something that grounds you and makes you feel like, hey, I'm real. I'm in the moment. I'm chilling. Everything's good. You know, it's weed. Not gonna fucking die. Because it's like, imagine me dying. The first person to die of weed. That's fucking lame, dude. You're fucking stupid. Everyone's gonna be like, yeah, dude, that guy's a fucking idiot. He died while smoking weed. Like, fuck this guy. But anyway, I really hope you guys did enjoy this video. Maybe I'll make some more videos like this again, because it's pretty fun doing a little research. You know, being a little more doing videos that are a lot smarter than all the degenerate shit I talk about. But I really do hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.